So we don't quite have Wall Street reform yet. The 4th of July recess starts this weekend, and we now know we're not going to have Wall Street reform before this weekend because over the 4th of July recess, Republican Senator Scott Brown of Massachusetts says he has to put his thinking shorts on and decide whether or not he's going to vote for it. Senator Brown has actually already voted for Wall Street reform for the Senate's version of the bill. And as he's emerged as the key Republican negotiator on the issue, he has scored himself a tidy little list of compromises. He managed to get some home state financial interests exempted from new restrictions on trading. Nice. He also convinced negotiators that the bill should allow banks to invest in hedge funds. Oh, goody, sticking up for the little guy. He's demanded that Democrats remove a proposed tax on big banks and hedge funds, which Democrats promptly did. So Scott Brown has won all these concessions. He's gotten all these special Scott Brown deals, but he is still not sure he's going to vote for the final bill. He says he's, again, got to put his thinking shorts on over the long weekend and review the bill and decide whether or not he's going to support it this time around. So, hey, Democrats, got to ask, is this ringing a bell for you at all? I mean, she's not famous for her shorts, but how about Olympia Snowe during the health reform debate? Remember how that went? It was all about Olympia Snowe. She was the key to making health reform bipartisan and therefore awesome. She even voted for it once in a committee, which got her a ton of attention that she used to lobby against a public option. For those of you keeping track at home, you'll recall that the health reform debate ended with no public option. It also ended with no vote from Olympia Snowe. The pattern of Republicans negotiating on big pieces of legislation, winning major concessions, and then not voting for it after all has been pretty clear for a while now to people who are paying attention. Take, for example, this prescient October 2009 report on Republican Senator Lindsey Graham from Mother Jones's Kate Shepard. Quote, while the support of a prominent conservative senator could pave the way for the passage of climate legislation, Graham's backing comes at a steep price. He's pushing for massive payouts to the nuclear industry, along with other environmentally questionable provisions. A few of the more left-leaning or outspoken groups, such as Friends of the Earth and the Union of Concerned Scientists, are worried that Graham will pull a bait and switch. They fear he's offering his backing now in order to gain big concessions for the nuclear industry, but he won't ultimately vote for the legislation. Again, that was from October of last year. Senator Graham subsequently played a major role in putting together a climate bill with John Kerry and Joe Lieberman, a big old compromise bill that he then backed out of in April. And of course, since they don't have Lindsey Graham to kick them around anymore, Senators Kerry and Lieberman are in the market for a new Republican negotiator. And as such, they are advertising the fact that they're willing to scale back the bill even more. If that happens, I wonder if they'll get a vote in the end from that Republican. So again, the pattern is this. Some Republican senator or another appears to be making a super sincere effort at negotiating on a key piece of legislation with his or her friends from across the aisle. Said Republican senator convinces these Democratic friends to make tons of concessions on the key legislation. But then, for whatever reason, all those concessions don't turn out to be enough to win that Republican's vote. So the inevitable outcome is that, well, first of all, it's less likely that any given piece of key legislation will pass because, hey, guess what? No Republican is going to vote for it pretty much ever, no matter what. And if the Democrats still do manage to pass something, it will be an undermined, watered-down version of the key bill in question that robs the Democratic Party's base of any sense of accomplishment or excitement or satisfaction in what its party is doing. And this undermined, watered-down bill will eventually become an undermined, watered-down policy that's worse than it would have been without Republican influence. And worse in the precise ways that Republicans want it to be worse. Oh, also, for a hot minute before this particular negotiating Republican senator votes against the bill in question, they look for a hot second like they're not as extreme as they really are, like they're not a lockstep Republican like they always are at the end of the day. Because look, they're negotiating with the other side. It's good strategy on the part of Senate Republicans, one that is working and it keeps working over and over again. One that Democrats probably should have figured out how to fight by now.